Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. This layout is for a few things: the Scraplift Crafternoon, or Scraplifting Darla Weber, the 100 Pattern Paper Challenge, where we have a recipe that I show you there, teal, ribbon, tags, stitching, and die cuts. So I'm cheating, I'm using stitched ribbon. And also I used a page from my counterfeit kit. Here's Darla's layout that we are scraplifting today. I'm using the idea of a big title on the left and a cluster of photos on the right and a small embellishment cluster at the bottom. So I have 3 photos here from last summer that I wanted to tell the story of. Some of this was in my counterfeit kit. The blue floral paper there that's in the center right now is from Simple Vintage Lemon Twist. It went with that Carpe Diem title that I wanted to use for my counterfeit kit, so that's what I pulled out, and then some scraps as well. So I inked most of these pieces, and most of this is scrap. I had a piece of this that I cut up into strips. It was the back of that Carpe Diem paper, I believe. So I'm using that. For my photo block, I'm using this blue paper, aqua or teal, I guess you would call it. I don't know for sure. And I've already matted these in black. I couldn't decide whether to use white or black, so I did one of each and then took a picture of it laying on top and decided the black was best. So that's where my title is going to go. And here is where I decide I don't like that there's black showing at the top and the bottom of that teal paper. But I still wanted the torn edge to show. I didn't want a whole, like a 12-inch length of that. So I pulled another scrap from the Simple Vintage Lemon Twist, and it works nicely. It's a different polka dot than the other one, so I think it works out just fine. I'm leaving some room at the top because I am going to add an embellishment cluster up there like Darla did. And I also tore another scrap of this paper to bring a little bit of yellow. I wanted another layer of tearing there. And bringing that bit of yellow in means I'm adding it in a couple other places as well, which you'll see soon. So these photos were taken last July at the summer church camp where Brian and Kayla volunteered. He had done that the summer before he and Kayla met, and he wanted to come back, and so she volunteered along with him. And since it was only about, an hour and a half or so away, we took advantage of that. We saw them the day before camp started, and then we drove down there on Wednesday evening and had dinner with them and stayed for the evening Bible time and singing. So we were taking advantage of the day, and hence I decided this was a good use for the Carpe Diem title that I have had in my stash, I don't know, at least 5 years, probably more. And I said I was going to bring some yellow in other places. And here's a strip of it. It's just a check or gingham type page. And then I used my dies and cut some tags. No, I didn't use dies for that. I used dies for the tickets. The tags I just cut from a pattern that I keep in my box near where I scrap. These are the tickets that I used my dies for. And now I'm going to make little reinforcers for the tag tops. I just used my crocodile and a 1/2-inch circle punch. And there they are. The one tag and two of the tickets are made from a scrap of mixed media that I kept. I tried to use it a couple weeks ago. It didn't work. So it was perfect for this. And I'm trimming some down, going to layer them up. At first I thought I was going to put the cluster there in the center, and I end up moving it. You'll see shortly. I pulled out some black and white baker's twine from my box, and that's going in the tag holes. And I hadn't glued any of this down yet, so it was easy to pull it out and get those in there. I do add a third tag with journaling on it, and since I didn't really have room for journaling, but I wanted to tell a story, I just put a slit in the page and created a pocket behind it, and the tag can slide in and out with the journaling on it for people to read if they choose. So I'm layering these up and tucking them beneath the photo block at the top. And I decided that looked too empty when I was trying things out before, so I added these tickets. There we go. And you'll see in a minute that I do add another pattern because I needed it to cover up something at the bottom of the layout, so I add a piece of that pattern up here at the top as well. And here's where I'm still trying to get that to work in the middle, but it just isn't. I don't know why. You can see I fiddled with that for quite a long time. And that's more like where it's going to go. And I'm glad I changed that up. I like having that embellishment cluster further to the left since there's a large one at the top right. And then I used a ticket and a little heart. This heart was stuck to something on my desk. I don't know what it's from, but it was the right color. And there was a glare in this photo from, I'm not sure, a light or something. And so I used this ticket and the heart to hide that glare, and I'm happy with that. So let's see, what else? Now I'm figuring out some embellishments. I pulled in the sticker sheet, or foam sticker sheet, from the lemon twist, I think it is. I pulled in some black and yellow hearts. And now I'm remembering, oh, I have this ribbon. And I was hoping it was 12 inches and would go right across there. But it is not. It's just shy of 12 inches. So I used my usual trick. I split it in half, but that meant I had to cover up the gap. And that's where the black and white floral print comes into play. And then I just tuck the ribbon down. I used Nuvo Deluxe liquid glue, and that worked just fine. For some reason it seemed crooked there, so I was able to lift it up with the corner of my scissors. And now I tuck that other little ticket on there, and that looks like it was meant to be. At least I hope it looks like it was meant to be. And there's the other piece at the top that kind of ties the two together. We're just about to the end here. I will have links in the description box below for Scraplift Crafternoon, for Darla, who we scraplifted, for Tina's 100 pattern paper challenge, and she came up with the great recipe, so thanks for that, Tina. And also Scraplift Crafternoon, I already said that, and something else that I forget. Have a great day. I hope you get to scrapbook something very soon. Bye-bye.